Hello Demonolatry Space and YouTube. I'm going to show you today some stuff about ritual blades, and we're going to discuss different uses of swords and different types of blades, and it'll kind of give you an idea of, I mean, if you've got a blade fetish, this is going to be like, you're going to love this. Others of you might think, gosh, I don't really need that many blades. No, you don't. Find one you like. But in the meantime, let's go take a look. Okay. Here we have swords. For ritual swords, you want something that feels really balanced and lightweight in the hand, because you're going to be using swords for invocation and basically tracing circles on the ground for, you know, if you want to make a physical representation or whatever. These are two of the swords that I particularly use just because they are lightweight, very balanced, and they work for their purpose. I think I can get any closer into that. You don't want to use anything too heavy or cumbersome, otherwise you just risk being kind of awkward with it, and it can be kind of a pain in the butt. So find something that you like, and you can get relatively inexpensive swords from knife companies for like 30 bucks. So keep your eyes open. The first ritual knife that is really, really important is the utility knife. Basically, this is the kind of knife you're going to use if you're like going to carve candles. When you carve sigils, names, anything that you're carving into a candle, or an N even, you would use a small utility knife like this. Some people actually use, I don't know, like a toothpick or whatever, but I prefer the small utility knife. It's just a lot easier. And it's also good for, you know, cutting string or leather cord or whatever you're using during your ritual. This next blade here is basically called a furba or a furpa, and it's basically an Indian dagger. And this particular blade is used during banishings, cleansings, and dispelling of negativity. And so it's really handy if you want to do invocation throughout your house to kind of clean stuff up. They're often in brass. You can find them in silver, and you can find them in varying price ranges from $30 to about $200 to $300, depending on where you get them. The next two are basically just fancy. Let me see if I can pull these up to where you can actually see them a little better. Invocation knives. They're not really practical for much else. This is a crisp blade right here. Notice how, I mean, you know, it's mostly, you're not going to really do anything with it. It doesn't cut. The edges are all dull. Same thing with this. This is just, you know, fancy. It looks nice because it's got like it's got Isis on it and some Egyptian writing. And the next batch of knives, these are basically my elemental knives. And they do have edges on them. They're not terribly sharp, but they do function very well. You can tell that I use the water and the air one, or I have used them recently and haven't cleaned them. These can be used for carving in candles and everything, but you don't necessarily have, you don't have the control that you'll have with a utility knife with these. So these can be used for invocation and practical purposes like cutting things, using it to hold your requests into in the fire in the offering bowl, which is why those two blades are tarnished or blackened at the end. That's what they've been used for. And I just have 4 of them. I have 4 that I used elemental just for my own purposes. And then the final one is what you might expect from like maybe a sacrificial knife or a real ritual blade, like if you were going to be, you know, carving up a chicken or something on your altar. People do it, you know, it happens. Or, you know, if you're going to be killing your own chicken for a ritual feast. And this is actually functional. It's very sharp, and it's a real hunting knife. So those are the different types of blades, and I hope this has been informative. And you don't need all of these blades, but you can certainly pick and choose what you need based on your needs.